Sometimes we must live through the darkness in order to see the light. We must visualize.
Hey everyone, excuse my look today. I'm having a very lazy day. Yesterday was my birthday, and thank you everyone for your birthday wishes, and just having a very lazy today, so I don't look my best. So just this week I want to talk about after my transplant and after I was released and what happened next. After I was released from the hospital, I was able to go back home. It was summertime, so I went home, was able to spend that summer with my family, and then I went back to school for my grade 12 year, and I was able to graduate on time with my class. So everything was going really well. My hair was growing back. It was actually growing back black and curly, which is really interesting because my hair naturally is kind of a mousy brown and sticks straight like it is now, where instead of going curly in humidity, it goes straight in humidity. So grade 12 year, everything going well, and then all of a sudden I started feeling pain in my right hip. Wasn't quite sure what it was. I was having issues walking and just a lot of pain. I remember digging my elbow into my hip, just trying to relieve some of the pain, which was actually helping a little bit. My mom took me to a chiropractor. We tried to do a few things to see if it was just something out of place or just to see if it was muscle or something like that, but nothing was really helping. And one night our home teacher came over. That's Mike Steed. He helped a lot throughout this journey. He came over and he looked at me, and he's an MRI, the head of the MRI department at the Lethbridge Regional Hospital, and he looked at me, he was like, I think you have avascular necrosis. And I was like, okay. And he's like, let me get you in for an MRI tomorrow, which was Christmas Eve. So he got me in Christmas Eve, and usually you have to wait to get in for an MRI, but I was able to get in the next day. So I had an MRI, and he looked at it and was like, yep, you have avascular necrosis. So we got referred up to an orthopedic surgeon in Calgary, Dr. Worley, and he decided to do a trial surgery on my hip, but wait until after I graduated high school. So I was able to graduate high school, all was going well. I was on crutches on and off throughout my grade 12 year, but wasn't a big deal after I just went through a huge stem cell transplant. So after I graduated high school, I went in and had a surgery where they took the fibula bone, which is the backbone in your calf, and with the veins, and they grafted it into your hip to see if that would regrow the hip. And it was a very long surgery. Dr. Worley did it with a hand surgeon because it was all very fiddly work, and it was a very, very long surgery. I believe it was about 12 hours. And after that surgery, it was just wait and see if the graft would take. Unfortunately, it didn't, and I had graduated high school. I moved up to Edmonton with my best friend Ashley, and I was on crutches for a year. I also, my hip, the upper part kind of healed wrong, so my hip was kind of healed up, and my mom always said I walked like Gollum when I wasn't on my crutches, so it was an interesting look. But yeah, on crutches for a year, still in quite a bit of pain, and that surgery didn't work. So after a year, I went back and had a total hip replacement, and Dr. Worley said because I was so young, he'd get me the sports model, which was made of ceramic, and I still have that total right hip replacement in my hip today. Haven't really had any issues with it, just mostly I get similar pains to arthritis, where when the weather changes, it hurts and things like that, but I have felt immediate pain relief after that surgery, and actually hip surgery is kind of a breeze. I was back up and walking pretty much right away and able to walk normally again, as normal as I can. I'm a bit of a waddler, but there's also other surgeries I've had on my hip. So after my hip replacement, things went back to normal. I was able to start living my life again, and I was told there could be a chance of other joints failing, so it's just wait and see. And next week I'll talk about when I decided to serve a mission for my church. I'll pass through the DBA thing now, and now moving on to the other things that have happened in my life. So hopefully you keep watching and subscribe and share and like, ask any questions. I'm more than willing to answer them, and we'll see you next week.
Sometimes we must live through the darkness in order to see the light. We must visualize.